The soft hum of the city often provided Lois Lane with a symphony of stories. For months, after the cataclysmic events of absolute power, that hum had been amplified, a chorus of distant whispers and hurried heartbeats, courtesy of her newfound superhuman hearing. But lately, something felt quieter, less acute. She was standing on her metropolis balcony one crisp morning, the familiar skyline spread before her like an open manuscript. A distant siren wailed, a sound that weeks ago would have been a jarring cacophony. Today, it was just a siren. Distinct, yes, but no longer piercing. The realization was subtle, almost imperceptible, yet it sent a curious ripple through her. It began there, with the gradual dimming of her supersenses, like a radio slowly losing its signal. A week later, a more definite sign emerged. She'd always loved the sensation of flight, the exhilarating rush of wind, the freedom of defying gravity. One evening, after a particularly draining day chasing a lead, she attempted to lift off from her apartment rooftop, eager to clear her head above the city's din. She pushed, concentrated, felt the familiar upward surge, but it was weaker. Her ascent was slower, her altitude lower, the effort more pronounced. It was as if an invisible weight was tethering her, gently pulling her back down to earth. She landed back on the gravel with a soft thud, a quiet sigh escaping her lips. This wasn't an emergency, no sudden loss of control or terrifying plummet. It was a gradual, almost tender ebbing, a quiet surrender of abilities that had been thrust upon her. There was a part of her, the pragmatist, the reporter, that felt a flicker of anxiety. But beneath that, surprisingly, was a profound sense of peace beginning to unfurl. This felt, in a strange way, like coming home. She knew she needed answers, and there was only one person she trusted for an objective, scientific assessment. Michael Holt, better known as Mr. Terrific, was the embodiment of intellect and impartiality. She found him in his vast, technologically advanced lab, surrounded by holograms of complex equations and whirring machinery. "Lois," he greeted, his voice calm and precise, "I've been expecting you." He ran a series of scans, projections of her cellular structure and energy signature filling the room. Lois watched, an almost detached curiosity in her eyes. There was no fear, only a readiness to understand. After a thorough examination, Mr. Terrific turned to her, his gaze thoughtful. "It's exactly as I suspected, Lois, or perhaps as I hoped for you." He gestured to a holographic display. "Your physiology adapted and processed the extraordinary energies from the absolute power event. You became, for a time, a conduit for immense forces. But the human body, in its incredible wisdom, always strives for equilibrium. Now that the primary threat has passed and the residual energies have dissipated, your system is gently, naturally returning to its baseline." He paused, letting the information settle. "The powers were never inherent to you, Lois. They were a temporary state, a necessary evolution to survive and, indeed, to fight during an unprecedented crisis. You are simply renormalizing." Lois looked at the intricate patterns of her own diminishing power on the screen. "So, I'm losing them? All of them?" Mr. Terrific nodded. "Eventually, yes. Your enhanced senses, your strength, your flight, they will all recede. You are becoming, once again, just Lois Lane. A remarkable woman, certainly, but without the super prefix." A genuine smile, soft and unburdened, touched Lois's lips. It wasn't the relieved sigh of someone escaping a burden, but the contented smile of someone regaining a cherished part of themselves. "Just Lois Lane," she echoed, the words tasting freedom. The journey back to normalcy wasn't immediate, but it was steady. Each day a little less super, a little more human. There were moments, of course, when instinct kicked in, a fleeting thought to leap over traffic, a subconscious strain to hear a distant whisper. But these impulses faded, replaced by the familiar rhythms of her true self. This period became a poignant exploration of her character. It laid bare the truth that her heroism had never been dependent on the ability to fly or to punch through concrete. Her courage wasn't in facing down a supervillain with her fists, but in standing firm against injustice with her words. Her integrity wasn't about being incorruptible by external forces, but by an unwavering internal compass guiding her pursuit of truth. Lois Lane, the reporter, had always been a force to be reckoned with. She had routinely walked into danger zones without a cape, confronted corrupt politicians without superhuman strength, and exposed conspiracies armed only with a pen and a camera. She didn't need heat vision to see through lies. Her sharp mind and relentless investigative skills did that perfectly. She didn't need super speed to chase a story. Her tenacity and sheer willpower were more than enough. She recalled the countless times she had been the first on the scene, not because she could fly there, but because she had the foresight, the sources, and the sheer grit to beat everyone else. She remembered standing up to powerful figures, unafraid to ask the uncomfortable questions, to shine a light into the darkest corners. She didn't need heat vision to see through lies. Her sharp mind and relentless investigative skills did that perfectly. She didn't need super speed to chase a story. Her tenacity and sheer willpower were more than enough. She recalled the countless times she had been the first on the scene, not because she could fly there, but because she had the foresight, the sources, and the sheer grit to beat everyone else. She remembered standing up to powerful figures, unafraid to ask the uncomfortable questions, to shine a light into the darkest corners. That, she realized, was her true power. That was her unwavering pursuit of the truth, a pursuit that had shaped her, defined her, long before any temporary powers ever did. In the end, as the last vestiges of the super receded, Lois Lane didn't feel diminished. She felt complete. She returned to the Daily Planet with a renewed vigor, a quiet confidence settling deep within her. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, crafting prose that cut through deception, her eyes sharp, her questions piercing. She proved unequivocally that you don't need to fly to be a hero. You don't need a cape to save the day. Lois Lane, the reporter, was every bit as formidable, every bit as courageous, and every bit as heroic. Her true strength lay not in what she could do with her powers, but in who she was without them. She had simply boomed herself back, a more powerful transformation than any temporary superpower could offer. This story of Lois Lane's journey reminds us that true heroism springs from within, from an unwavering commitment to our values and a relentless pursuit of what is right. It's a testament to the fact that our greatest strengths often lie in our most human qualities. What are your thoughts on Lois Lane's journey of self-discovery? Do you agree that her true heroism was always independent of her powers? Share your perspectives in the comments below, and don't forget to follow for more explorations of iconic characters and their defining moments.